This TV and this thing. Oh, come on. Don't. No, you don't.
All right, we're here again at Origins Game Fair in Columbus, Ohio, for Theology of Games. I'm here with Chris Kirkman of Dice Hate Me Games. So, Chris, how's the convention going so far for you guys?
Oh, fantastic! We've been slammed with days. Last year was a little bit quiet. Origins was really quiet, but this year it's been a huge outpouring. I mean, people are getting to know all the projects. They're excited about the ones like Compounded that is almost ready for production. We wrapped up Kickstarter in February. People who are involved with the campaigns now just want to meet the faces behind all the games. So, like today, for instance, it's Friday, we're talking now. Today, as soon as the doors open, people just swarmed in the booth. You know, it felt like Fantasy Flight. It was awesome. It was like, oh, can we get this before it gets sold out? You know, so people have been so amazing and gracious. That's part of the process of why the company was started anyway, was the people behind all of it. And Kickstarter really brings that personal face to it. And everybody who has been involved just comes and wants to be part of that experience. So it's been fantastic. The sales have been fantastic too. So
yeah, sales kind of like help you keep doing it. So
well, exactly. And that's not like the bottom line is great, but it's not really the reason that board gaming even exists. Really, it's like we love the community. So the benefit of that is like meeting all these people who are really passionate about the same things that we are. So it's amazing to see that community gel, especially at Origins. So,
yeah, cool. So you said Compounded is almost ready for production.
It is. It's basically in the middle of production right now. We've just approved the hard proofs. We're waiting for our advanced prototype, not advanced prototypes, but advanced copies to come in, so we can make sure all the components are right. As far as like everything being right off of the printer or the factory floor. So we're on track to have it delivered hopefully by mid to late August, stateside anyway, and then the Kickstarter backers will be about 2 weeks after that, or maybe by mid-September if we keep it realistic, and then after that pre-orders will go out toward the end of September, beginning of October, and that'll be the street release date. So
great.
Yeah, we're getting pretty close.
Great.
Yeah.
And then there's a new version of Viva Java. It's kind of a dice version that's coming out.
Yep, absolutely. Viva Java Dice. And the way Viva Java Dice works is it's a more simplified version of Viva Java itself, 2 to 4 players. And it incorporates a lot of the mechanics and the feel of Viva Java. You're still doing, trying to create blends, trying to get custom blends, and decide between whether we want to blend or research, but using dice. And so it's just a more condensed version of Viva Java. It doesn't have quite the social aspect that Viva Java does. There is some cooperative or semi-cooperative aspects of it where if you get flavor dice during the game, you can offer those up and roll them to add to someone else's blend, and you get points off of it. So there's still that interactive element, which is what we want for social, interactive, competitive, positive player interaction is the way that TC and I describe it.
Yeah.
He pushes that a lot in his designs, and I agree with it as well. I like a lot of games that have take that, but I also like a lot of the ones that can have interaction between players, but without any negative aspects. That doesn't necessarily mean that we won't have some stuff in Viva Java. We call them the angry discs. So there's a special, coaster that has some of the more angry disc abilities on them. That if people like to play that way, they can do it. It's a huge variability of play, almost infinitely expandable with the way we've developed the powers of the coaster. So we're really excited.
Great.
Yeah.
So I have a copy of Great Heartland Hauling Company, and I've played Carnival. All of the games have a great kind of look to them. Thematically, they look really well. Just the art behind it looks really, really great. And I understand you're behind that.
I do, yeah. I have done the graphic design and art for every single game except Compounded, and Daryl Louder did most of the design for Compounded. I helped with some of it, did the rule book and things like that. I don't really like handing over that reign to anybody else unless they have the same aesthetic that I do. And it's that kind of realistic, retro, very comfortable Americana feel.
Yeah.
And Compounded and Daryl's design does the same thing. We're going to digress a little bit from that with Bell of the Ball, but it still has a unique art style. Jackie Davis is doing the art for that, and it's just very whimsical characters. And that's kind of like, we like the quirkiness and the whimsical as well, so it's a little bit of a diversion, but yet within the same realm and universe, just having some fun with storytelling. Brewcrafters will have the same Americana feel like that's coming out in the fall that Viva Java does. But it's just always matched my design aesthetic, and it's always resonated with a lot of people because it's grounded in reality, and people really respond well to that.
Yeah, great. Well, thanks so much for spending some time answering questions
Thanks
for us.
for interviewing.
And again, it's Chris Kirkman of Dice Hate Me. Check him out. He's on Twitter at Dice Hate Me, DiceHateMe.com, and the podcast Dice Hate Me. So thanks again. We're here at Origins in Columbus, and I'm Jeremiah for Theology of Games. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, cool.